Talk Podcast, episode 94. I do have a special guest in the building. I will let her tell us about her, just a brief synopsis of who you are and what you got going on, and then we'll get into some topics that I think are going to be really, really funny when it comes to the end of it. See how I turned it on?
Hello, everyone. My name is Alexandria. I'm born and raised in Austin. This is my first time ever doing a podcast, so I'm very interested. Actually, I had to do a podcast right before I graduated for one of my communication classes, so
That was a requirement?
it was as a project.
Oh, that's fucking dope as fuck.
Yeah, so it had to be a minimum of 10 minutes.
Sounds like me when I first started podcasting. 10 minutes, 7 minutes, around that time.
So you understand.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's fascinating. You didn't tell me that off camera that you had to do that. Like that was a requirement in school. That's lit. Because I do know like a lot of colleges these days, not the case back in the day, I'm old or whatever. Like they have podcast studios for students these days. And I think that's dope as fuck. Like to be able to have a space to go and like podcast in a safe environment with quality equipment for the free. That's lit. I wish you would have told me that before that. This would have changed the whole podcast. We wouldn't even talk about the goddamn topics. We just talk about that. But was it on camera or was it just audio?
It was audio. I cannot think of the app. It is similar to Spotify. But yeah, we had to do that. And I think for me, it was a little tricky because I actually had to write a script. I had to really go into detail about my topic. So it was definitely a learning experience. So.
Oh, that's actually really fucking cool. That's actually like I'm floored. Like anytime I get to talk to somebody who like experienced that in school, I don't even think they're bringing that aspect to like high school and shit like that. So that's dope. I wish back then there was an avenue to not only major in communications, but to have to do a podcast as some form of like graded content. That's kind of lit. Not that super lit. Am I freaking out about that? That's like super lit. I am. Yeah, it's a tough out. But let's get into it. Like I can talk about that aspect and how creators should have some kind of space to create all day. But this is one of the 4 things I sent you. It basically just says big heart, wrong generation. What does that mean to you?
Well, to me, now since I've gotten older, my perception of it all has changed. I feel like big heart, wrong generation. However, we necessarily cannot blame the generations for their lack of love, trust, loyalty. It's taught somewhere. Not necessarily taught, but they're seeing it somewhere, whether it's in the households or friends. And I feel like...
You mean like an aspect of like saying like you're a very like giving person, that this quote unquote generation, which every generation has bad things about it. We just continue to recycle the word this generation, but like in the sense of like doing a lot for people and people not doing that much for you is that a sense of like what a big heart means?
Yes, and I feel like not everyone has that quality
At all.
So when you are giving and doing, you have to remember it may not always be receptive, especially in the way that you think it will be reciprocated by someone. In my experience, I feel like I was always doing more, but I had to look at the men that I was dating at the time, like especially our upbringing. I've experienced dating men who come from single homes versus me. I had both parents, so my perception is a little different. I try not to be judgmental with it, but there are differences, and it does affect the way that you carry yourself in relationships.
So would you say like, because I've had this type of conversation and we can take it wherever, but like people who grew up with like a family of like both their parents in their life versus someone who necessarily didn't. Do you think those kind of upbringings ultimately affect you as an adult?
Most definitely.
Yeah. Positively or negatively? Because again, like I grew up with both my parents in the household, and I have a brother, but we're 8 years apart. He was basically out of the picture about time I was like 9 or 10 years old. So like I actually grew up technically like alone, like not with a sibling around. But like, what aspects of that do you think? I don't know if I've worded this right, but like, what aspects of having parents versus not do you think is the ultimate difference between like not only people's communication skills, but also having like a big heart per se? If that makes sense. I don't know what I just said, guys. I just be talking sometimes.
No, I'll answer it, and then you just let me know if I answered your question. So I feel like individuals who grew up with two parents, they know to stick it out. They know to not just walk away. It's real. It's serious. And I don't think that people understand that. We see all these quotes and these memes, but the ultimate is not walking away, and everyone is not built for that or taught for that. And it's serious. And I feel like that it's just, speaking for myself, that's made me stay in relationships much longer than I've needed, just because of me seeing that. So that could be a negative as well, if we want to flip it.
I mean, any and everything could be a negative or a positive to anyone, depending on, how not only they were raised, but also just like them as a person. And I didn't mean to serious out the podcast within 10 minutes of the start, but did I just say serious out the podcast? What the fuck is going on, man? Let's move away from the fucking topic.
Okay, next topic. Hey, we in motion. I'm having a good time.
So with this being your first podcast, like our second podcast, what were your expectations? Like, I know I sent you a couple of episodes to look at and watch. Like, what were your experiences watching those? And then what was your expectations? Like, what is your perception of a podcast?
Okay, so my perception of a podcast, I'm one of those, I like the Joe Budden podcast. I spent a lot of time. Yes.
He said The Blackening was a good movie. I gotta call him out on that. He said it was a great movie. But anyways.
No, but yeah, I like Joe Budden because he's one of those podcasters where even if I don't agree, I'm still entertained and I can still understand his reasoning.
He's a Virgo.
Makes sense.
Makes sense to me too.
Yeah.
Why I agree with everything he says all the time.
But
except for The Blackening, worst movie ever.
Yeah, I mean, I like Joe Budden, but I would say I like more of the celebrity podcast, and
which is all they are nowadays. Like, if you're a celebrity, go ahead and get you a podcast, yo.
Yeah,
it's a tough out. Were you nervous coming on the pod?
I was, because I was like, I don't want to mess up. I don't want to get up here and freeze. But
damn, Alexa.
Right. My bad, bro. My bad.
Alexa.
No, but after watching a few of your episodes, it made me feel like just chill, be down to earth, because some people I know, they're like, we're going to talk about this, and it's going to get kind of intensive, and I don't need any type of...
Oh, yeah, this isn't the Can We Argue podcast.
Yeah, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, me either. I wouldn't even... I used to want to be that early on with the podcast. I used to want to be like combative and just not take people's thoughts in consideration. Like, I wanted the podcast to be that kind of when I started, but when I saw what that actually looks like, I was like, no, thank you. That's a tough out. There's some episodes in the universe that I've never seen the light of day because of that kind of mindset.
Oh, it's intense. Yeah, I've moved away from that type of stuff too. But yeah, just... I felt good after like talking more about it with you and watching your podcast. So first off, I want to commend you. You have a lot of episodes. Yeah. It's a lot of time, work, dedication. So congrats.
Thank you. It is a lot of work, and getting to 100 is annoying the fuck out of me right now. Like, I want to skip to 100. Like, the way I envision 100 is like lavish, like doves flying and shit, and like fucking balloons everywhere. That's what I picture it to be. I know it's not going to be that. I just got a lot of ideas going in my head, but it's actually funny because like YouTube reflects every single video I've posted. So I had a podcast before this one, and I did 14 episodes of it. But at that exact time I started is when the pandemic went crazy. And everyone like scrambled to do like the online shit. I didn't even know how to do the not online shit at the time. Like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So it was impossible to do what I actually wanted. Like no one was going to anyone's place to do a fucking podcast. That just wasn't the smartest thing to do at that point in time. People weren't even going to the grocery store. But I scratched that. But those 14 episodes are still, they still exist. They're just not visible to anybody. And I do sometimes look back at those old podcasts and be like, damn, man, I'm sitting up here in front of a fucking, what's the AC thing called? The thermometer? What's it called? The thermostat? I'm sitting up here in front of a thermostat on a stool yelling into a phone. And this is the episode. And my first episode ever was only 7 minutes long.
Okay.
But I appreciate that because there's a lot that goes into it. Like back then when I had other people to help me with certain things, it wasn't as hard. But now when I'm the person who like with the video chat thing, like I do that with every single guest.
Wow. Wow.
Like I find some time and some place to literally have just that initial conversation. And there's been people based off that conversation with video chat that I'm just like, nah, it's probably not best. It's probably not best for you to come on. It probably doesn't, it won't work.
Okay. All right. I'm happy I made the cut. Thank you. I know what to expect.
Yeah. But again, thank you so much. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And but I do encourage everyone to have a podcast. I think everyone should. Like everybody should.
Yeah.
Kind of. No, everyone.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has something to say because I did major in communication. So, yeah, everyone has something to say. It's just all about like how you say it and the tone. You can get any point across. You just
Absolutely.
have to have your tone.
Absolutely. And then going into a conversation without the ideal of being right versus just saying what the facts are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had to learn that.
I think everyone does. I think we're not. That's not human nature not to get your point across. I think that's a skill. That's why you can major in communications versus just hey, I can know how to communicate. Like you didn't do anything. I can communicate. For you, what's something you would like to know about me? So because I don't think we really talked too in depth about like each other really, more so about the structure of the podcast. So for you, from the outside looking in, what's something you would like to know about me?
How are you able to do podcast and cook, like be a chef? How? I don't get it. How do you find the time?
I got plenty of time. So like the food the food aspect is like more so passion. Like I love to cook. Like I love it. Like I started culinary school, didn't graduate, but I took those tools that I learned in those first X amount of months that I started, and I just transferred that to working in actual restaurants. And then outside of that, pre-pandemic, I had my own little catering thing where I would do cooking classes for like groups up to 5 and things like that. And then the pandemic happened. I was like, can't nobody come over. I'm not cooking shit for nobody. But I actually like to cook. That's why I don't want to go back into a commercial kitchen or to work in a restaurant. In that aspect, I'd rather serve tables than be in the kitchen, honestly, because like when you're serving, you can actually be around the food, but you don't actually have to cook it. And I don't want to be stressed about cooking. So I don't know if it's like a juggling the two. It's kind of like I do it exactly when I want to do it. Like the podcast is the podcast. The cooking is the cooking. Like people try to or tend to put them into one, but I've gone out of my goddamn mind and way to make sure that those are two separate avenues. There's a funny notion that people have about me in the podcast as well. They'll be like, the only reason people come on your podcast is because you cook. And I'm like, that's not the truth. Like, that's not the truth. Like, I'll cook for friends. Like, I'm cool with that. Like, I'll make you one of the most amazing meals you ever had at home for a friend, you know?
Yeah.
You grab the groceries, I'll take care of the rest. That's all you got to do. Podcasting is completely separate. It's just about wanting to be able to communicate and talk. Like, I just like talking to people. I like learning people's narratives and learning people's like ideals of things, because I grew up a certain way. Other people grew up a certain way. I'm very blinded by other people's like growth and the way they grew up. So I'm always interested in just like learning people and just finding out what the hell's going on. Because I'm not going to be outside at a concert to figure it out. Like I'm going to be at the crib. I don't know what the fuck goes on outside. So the more people I've had on, the more I've learned. And even with the traveling with the podcast, like it is a lot. Like to get one guest on at a specific time is a lot of work. Because I think we've been trying to do this for months.
Yeah, my apologies.
But
Sorry.
but it's okay because like I don't take things personal. Like if a person says, Calvin, I can't show up, that is just what it is. I actually don't believe anyone's coming till they're here. So I told her, she was like, what time? I was like, I don't know.
That's good. That's really good. I would be stressed. Like, this person didn't show up?
Nah, I don't care that much because like I say no to a lot of people. Like if I really wanted to dig into the no bag and like get those people out and say yes, they'd be here on time whenever, right? But like I don't care. I don't care that much. But it is a lot for sure. You ever thought about starting one?
Yeah, I had to rethink a lot of topics. I didn't want to come off too aggressive, but I feel like if I could start one right now, just something I would really like to do, I would like to discuss music, rap music, R&B, pretty much any genre. I love music. God, for some reason, did not bless me with the ability to sing. I was in band in middle school. I played the saxophone, but
It's lit.
I didn't take that serious. I should have done that. But it would just be discussing music, and it wouldn't be like hot topics. Oh, this rapper is sleeping with this. It
I'm
wouldn't
so
be
anti
that.
that. I don't give a fuck unless I'm being paid to talk about people who have money. Then why am I talking about people who have money? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Like, I like to discuss where samples come from. Like, hey, such and such just sampled, like, okay, just a song that everyone knows off top, like Nicki Minaj, Super Freaky Girl. That's Rick James, Super Freak. And I feel like,
Word?
yeah, if she wouldn't have sampled that song, it wouldn't have done as major. I feel like people forget the history behind certain songs, and it needs to be talked about instead of their business.
Yeah,
Like,
facts. I think me and Robin, you were talking about what song was it? It was some song that you didn't know that like could have been on it but wasn't on it. Yeah. So it's Buster, him, Chris Brown, and who else is on the song? Is it just those two? Lil Wayne, but it could have been Nelly instead
oh,
of Busta, right?
I don't know about Nelly, y'all, on that song.
But like we were talking about like how music is made, right? Like no one really talks about like how that comes about. Like you really could just be in an adjacent studio and then you hear some shit and you go into that room and be like, "Oh, let me get on that." And then that's the song. It's not like I called you to be here at X amount of time. Like we just happened to be in this area at the same exact time. I heard the beat. I like the beat. Let's make the song. Type shit. So who are your favorite rappers and artists in general?
Ooh, artist, okay. Number one, Tupac.
Tupac.
Love Tupac.
I never really listened to Tupac. Like I can't really tell you any songs that I actually know. Like from start to finish.
Wow. Yeah, I blame my parents. I blame my mom and the whole like Black Panther aspect with Tupac. So like my aunt, my grandmother, they were Black Panthers in Austin
Oh shit.
back in the day. So
Off 6th Street or what? I'm just kidding. I don't
Booker T.
I'm just playing.
So they had it in Booker T projects, and they had the breakfast program. So they fed the kids before school. They did a lot of different stuff just for that community specifically because, you know, back then it was predominantly Black. So like that whole like Black power, in a sense, it came out in the music. My parents, you know, they had Public Enemy, NWA. So Tupac was that, and he was a modern rapper during that time, but he was telling the future, so I like him.
So Tupac's your number one.
Yeah. R&B, it is so hard. Mary J. Blige, Mariah. I like Whitney Houston, but I feel like Mary J. Blige and Mariah carry. I'm not
That's your
some other
go-tos.
bops. Yeah. Texas rappers, I like all Texas artists.
Like all of them, even the ones like in Austin.
Well, it's not too many in Austin. No disrespect to Austin rappers,
No,
like
mad disrespect, guys.
yeah,
Sorry.
Quinn NFN.
Who's
He's
that
taking
dude?
it there. Yes, so I commend him, and it's other upcoming rappers. But when I say Texas, it's more like Screwed Up Click, like Fat Pat, Lil Kiki, Zero, DJ Screw. It's I learned a lot of music from them, not just Texas music, but I know a lot of California rappers, a lot of like Georgia rappers, Florida, because on screw tapes, that's what he was blending in. So I'll meet people from Cali and I'm like, I'll say somebody like Sibo, Drew Down, some old school rappers. And they're like, what you know about that? You from Texas? Like, y'all ride horses down there. And I'm like, if you only knew.
I actually had a conversation with a random person when I was in New York, and it was like we were just in line getting food, and they were like, "What are you doing up here?" And I was like, "Excuse me." I promise you that was the start of their question. Like, that was the start of the conversation. They're like, "What are you doing up here?" Because we were in Rochester, so we were literally at the tip. But I think what they were thinking was like, "Why are we this high up? Like basically Canada's right across the street type shit." And I was like, "I'm from Texas, like Pflugerville," and they were like, "What the fuck? Did you ride a horse up here?" Type shit. And I was like, "That's a weird idea of people think that we fucking ride horses in Texas."
Yeah.
I don't think I've been in a close proximity to a fucking horse outside the 6th Street back in the day.
Yeah, it's weird. Like in Soul Plane, when that plane had like it was a Texas plane, but everyone was dressed as like farmers and cowboys, and I'm like, do not do us like that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Have you ever DJ'd or did anything in that space?
No, I had wanted to, but I commend DJs the standing that y'all do. I don't think I'm ready for that. I don't think I'm equipped.
Shout out to my
And
brother.
yeah, and now that I get older, it's kind of hard to stay up with the latest music.
Yeah, I don't know shit. Like when y'all said what was it, Red Sexy or what
Sexy Red.
the booty hole brown girl? Like I thought that was like a Mad TV skit. I
Oh
didn't
my.
know that that was a real
What?
song like that plays on the radio. Like I thought that was legit like a Mad TV like skit shit. Like I didn't even know that was for real until someone told me, and I was like, oh. I think it was when was she at the BET Awards or some shit?
Yeah.
I think they were talking about her then. I'm like, who is this woman? And then I guess she played the song or some shit. I don't know. I was like, I thought this was a fucking skit, yo.
But
Because
we need
ain't no
to.
fucking way this is a song and a hit.
But you know what? They didn't drag BET hard enough. They set her. They set her by the gospel singer Bobby Jones, the Bobby Jones Gospel Sunday star on BET that they would show. Me and Granny used to
Yikes.
watch that faithfully, and she's singing her song, which is nothing wrong, but it's like you have her here, then you have Bobby Jones a few feet away. It's like respect that man's situation and his Christianity. He didn't know what was going on. Like he did it. Like now, come on, BT. Y'all need to do better than that. Y'all was wrong for that.
Other than that, BT show was like the award show was fire and shit.
It
Oh my
I
god,
didn't watch
was.
it.
I loved it.
It
I stopped watching the
was.
BET show like 3 years ago.
Yeah. I'm a
And
They paid
huge
homage to like everybody. And I
exactly.
love that. Like all artists came out, like Ludacris performing. They gave Busta his flowers. They did so many throwbacks like throughout the show. It was great.
Yeah, it's
They brought
good.
everybody back.
I didn't watch it. It didn't even really make my timeline. to be honest, to be honest, all I heard was her that girl.
Yeah, and Quavo and Offset did the whole Takeoff tribute.
I did say that. That's a lie. I saw that, but I had to go out of my way to go see it. I heard about it, so I went to YouTube and looked for it.
Yeah. Coyle Ray did good with her segment with the whole BET feature and her outfit with all of the women rappers' names.
Is that the one who they say looks like the aliens from Men in Black?
Whoa! Now who said that?
I think I seen a meme.
That girl is pretty.
I don't know who she is. I don't. What song does she have?
Blick Blick, Nicki Minaj, Players.
Who's Blick Blick? Is that a song name or is that a rapper too? Oh,
but Players is her recent smash. Like TikTok went crazy with her song Players. It has like a sample.
Is that the one where they like change, like they play the song and then like they do something else with the video thing?
I don't know.
I'm old.
I don't know.
I'm old as fuck. Yeah, I don't know shit. I got a TikTok. I got one TikTok video on that motherfucker. I got one.
I have TikTok, but I don't have like a reason to post. Like I'm not trying to get a lot of likes and follows. Y'all just gonna get what I post and that's it.
I saw someone post on TikTok, or maybe it was a reel, of them making a grinder sandwich, and that shit had 2-point-something million views. I'm like, come on, man. It's a fucking sandwich.
You should do that.
No.
Like,
I've been viral a couple of times before it was cool to be viral. Shout out to me in the 2017s, in the 16s.
You don't even have to show your face.
That's what's sad about it. Because if you knew what they look like and they made that sandwich, it'd be a whole nother story.
Oh, okay.
I don't even like when the Grubhub person, I see them. Like, I don't even like that shit.
Oh, all right. Well,
You just do it on accident. I'm just looking out the people to look out because my neighbors is making noise, and I see the Grubhub person. I'm like, fuck. I don't even know if I'm hungry anymore. I'm old as fuck, man. I don't know shit about nothing, man.
I don't know what to say on that one.
You could just agree and be like, yeah, you old as hell.
Yeah. But the BET Awards, it was really nice this year.
When are they?
Every June.
June.
Yeah.
Figures.
What was it? 50th anniversary for hip hop. So, yeah, it was good.
What's your favorite places to eat?
Ooh.
Since you're born and raised in Austin.
The house. No.
Same.
I like Papa though. I love seafood.
You know what? I actually just had an interview there yesterday.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I was a hostess there like
I was about to go serve
2011.
over there. But then two things happened. One, my availability is shit, apparently. And then two, well, motherfuckers wearing ties.
Yeah.
That shit was, I didn't know that. I've never been sober in Papados. Let me put it that way. I've never been like able to look for it, like walk and look who I'm talking to. I always go at night, lit, and I don't know what the fuck they got on. I can't see. But I didn't know that's what they fucking wore. Vest, white aprons. I don't know. But I did just apply and had an interview there yesterday. It's funny that you said that.
Yeah. Third, because I said the house, Papado.
You can't use the house.
I like Angie's Mexican restaurant. It's on 7th Street.
Never been there.
It's really good. I've been eating there since I was a kid. So you know where Gabriella's is?
Nope.
It's like
just like pretend I live in Austin, but like I was never allowed to go outside.
Okay.
So I don't know where anything is.
Okay.
Except for 6th Street
I'll do
and
my
Highland Mall.
best. I'll do my best. Yeah, that's all I can really say. Now, anyways, okay, so Papado, Angie's, and this is so hard because there are some restaurants that have closed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not some, it's actually a lot. Yeah, so I'm kind of stuck. I like La Barbecue. It's on Cesar Chavez. Like, if you don't arrive before 10 a.m., you're done. The line is wrapped
Oh, it's one
around
of
the
those?
block. Yeah, but it's really good.
Really good.
Mm-hmm. So if you don't want to travel to like, I like Luling barbecue. So if you don't want to go there,
Luling.
yeah, I can't think it's like city something, but it's the main barbecue spot in Luling.
No one talks about Luling as a city. I haven't been there in years, but I don't.
Watermelon Thump.
I don't know why I would have went there. I think my parents would always go out there to get like watermelons and
Yeah,
shit.
the Watermelon Thump.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy that you said that. But those are your that's your go-to places. Like if someone was coming from a different state or a city, that's where you would tell them to go.
Yeah, and you know, I haven't met not one black person who will turn down Papa though. Just keeping it real.
I don't know what I eat there. I'm always like out of there. I think the last time I went, I actually have never eaten at the one here.
Oh, really?
I've only been to one of the two, or maybe two of them in Houston. Because anytime, well, back in the day, there was a specific hotel that I would get right off the highway, and there was one literally right across the street, next to a Target or something like that. But I've only been to Papados in Houston, so I just don't remember them wearing ties, red ties, and vests. But then again, it was never soberly.
Yeah. It's well, the Papa's chain is weird. They just opened up another barbecue
Under like their umbrella.
restaurant. Yeah, because they had Papa's barbecue and now they have like this like real barbecue, but I don't know. I think they boil it or baking it. I don't see any smoke. I don't see any pits. I don't, none of that.
Boiled barbecue is tough.
So, yeah, that's why I try to stick to the outskirts with the barbecue, especially in Texas. But speaking of barbecue, I saw a meme. They were rating barbecue in the U.S. And someone put gas station barbecue over Texas, and I was kind of offended.
I mean, maybe the gas stations be having some fire barbecue. I've never gone to a gas station for barbecue, but then again, like some people would say gas station chicken's better than the chicken spots we normally visit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a pro barbecue person either, so I don't
Really?
know. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not the pit master who just puts stuff on the barbecue pit and leaves it. I'm sorry. I actually like to do shit.
Well,
Have you been anywhere else? Like, have you been to other states? And
how many states have I been to? What, Louisiana, Florida, Mississippi,
shout out to Mississippi.
where else? California.
What part?
I went to San Diego.
The cool parts. I've been to California 100 times and never been to the cool parts.
Yeah, like I was in LA, but it was like layover at LAX, and
Oh, I have a funny story about a layover in LAX. Last time I was there, maybe 2019, no, 18, coming into 2019, and they have a service out there that allows you to order edibles, like Uber Eats and Grubhub, but it's for edibles only. And my brother had asked, he's like, hey, I'm about to order from whatever the app is. I don't even know if the app still exists. I'm sure it does. But like, he was like, I'm about to order. Like, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know. And it's just a bunch of candy. Like, I'm not really thinking it's going to be like tough, like a tough out. And he's like, are you sure you want that one? I'm like, yeah, just get it. Whatever. It's colorful. I like it. Whatever. So I got the little string candy, but them shits was strong as fuck. Like, you're only supposed to take like one half of the string shit, right? And I didn't end up finishing the bag, but we wanted to finish before we got on the plane to go back or get back here. So I literally ate half of the bag, which you're only supposed to eat like one of the little string shits or whatever. So there's like 10 or 15 string shits left in the bag. So I chugged them shits before we get to the airport. I was out of there. And the layover, because we were in Sacramento to LAX, is literally like an hour, if that. So it kicked in right in the middle of that hour. And we get to LAX and there's a Panda Express. I've never spent this much money at a Panda Express in my life. Like I think I spent like $30 or $40 on Panda Express. I got like 3 of the bigger plates and shit. And then and the layover's not long either. So it's literally, we got the food and we got to get on the next fucking plane. right? So I'm on that shit, smacking loud as hell, Panda Express smelling. And I almost forgot my bags. Like, I almost forgot them shits. If I wasn't traveling with somebody, I would have forgot all my luggage. Like, I'm sitting there just smacking on Panda Express on the fucking plane as we take off with my tray out, 2 plates here, chow mein in this one, fried rice in this one, just going in, smacking. There's a video out there. I don't have the video, but there's a video out there, and I'm very visibly fucked up.
You know, California, they have the best product. So
Shit had me on my ass. Yo.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, San Diego was like really beautiful. The beach, is it Condado or Coronado? It was really nice, but I like Florida's beaches.
I've never been to Florida. I'm scared of Florida. I just hear so many bad things about things that happen in Florida.
Just go to Miami.
That's why I be hearing it happens.
Oh no. Well, I was in Orlando when I came back from the Dominican Republic. I was in Orlando. It reminded me of Austin, like Pflugerville, Austin. Wasn't giving Round Rock nor Cedar Park, but that's what I was expecting. But I really didn't get that. So.
Pflugerville's ghetto as hell now, man.
Oh.
I grew up in Pflugerville.
I went to a Pflugerville Elementary. I went to 6 different elementaries. So.
Word?
Yeah.
When we first moved here, I think Pflugerville had like 3,000 people in all of Pflugerville. Now it's like 40, 50, or 60 or something like that. Literally, when we first moved here, there was no stores. There was nothing. That Jack in the Box right there wasn't there. All those restaurants that are sitting right there weren't there. That pawn shop and shit was there. That H-E-B was there. Taco Cabana wasn't there yet. Gas station wasn't there yet. Urgent Care was Blockbuster back in the day.
Wow. I didn't know that.
And then, what's that little? There's like a little attachment next to this H-E-B up the street. I think it's a Wingstop now, but it used to be Hollywood Videos back in the day.
Wow.
You can still even see the drop off. Like there used to be a drop off box, and then like 2 cylinders right here. They're still there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's weird. I'm old, man.
That's cool.
Back when Eckerd's and Albertsons were in Pflugerville.
No, I miss Eckerd's. I miss Eckerd's. Albertsons, it was one on Riverside. It was still there when I was younger.
And now I think the Albertsons now in Pflugerville is a church now. But it used to be Albertsons and Eckerd's right across the street. Mm-hmm. There was Dairy Queen on that corner. Popeyes wasn't there yet. McDonald's wasn't there yet. None of the restaurants next to that Taco Bell were there yet. Like it was very empty. The closest Walmart was the one in Round Rock back in the day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked going to school in Pflugerville. I was coming from AISD, like the jungle. So when I got to Pflugerville, I was like, wow.
This is nice.
People be chilling. Yeah, it's nice. I'm learning a lot more. Like, I enjoyed
There's
it.
a lesson plan. We don't just come into class.
Yeah,
Just
the field
kinda
trips
wing
were
it.
even better. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You know what's funny? Like back in the day, like we would take field trips growing up in Pflugerville to like the east side.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd
like,
y'all go?
We would go to like Millennium.
That's cool. Millennium is legendary.
It is legendary.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's cool. I'm happy they did that.
Like in hindsight, like it probably wasn't the safest. Like in hindsight, like if I knew what I knew now about certain areas back then, I probably wouldn't take a group of kids over there.
Now, not too much now. I'm from '02. Don't, hold on. Now, not too much.
Zip code claiming. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Cal. Okay. Play. Yeah, it was just very rich in history. Very rich in history. And I just don't think times will get back that way. And not just for Austin, but just everywhere, because in the Dominican Republic, they're getting gentrified. Like, they want Americans to come over there and buy condos.
They got the Whole Foods Target combo.
I did not see that.
Isn't that the combo? Isn't that the one off of like or by Fifth Street? Isn't that what it is? It's a Target and a Whole Foods, or no? Is it Whole Foods and something else? Or am I tripping? Is it just two stories?
It's Whole Foods and Target.
Yeah, Target on the ground floor, right?
Wow.
There, it's right, like where the parking lot used to be, where we used to park to go to Sixth Street, like that little dirt patch. It's like a whole Whole Foods or whatever now, on Fifth Street, I think. Fifth, yeah. No, it's the opposite direction. It's like it's past 6, right?
Yeah.
And then they did that reality show in Austin. Did you see that shit?
I did. I don't know what type of storylines they were trying to give. It was just all
Like,
over the place.
come here. This is very embracive. There's no black people here because there's like no black people in any stores they went to.
And the bars. I'm like, why did y'all not even try? Like, to be diverse.
Like, they were filming 6th Street at like 4 p.m. on a Wednesday. Ain't nobody out there, bro. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think they were like somewhere in South Austin, like kind of close to.
I think the way I picture it is they're over there by like airport area. Like that's where my mind went because I see those houses look like that now. Mm-hmm. But again, that's people who got money moving into Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Have you been to one of the soccer games?
No, my little brother goes all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't. I don't want to be in anyone's way.
The stadium is built so it's not crowded. Like
Okay.
it can be a full packed game and you wouldn't even notice.
Oh.
Like there's space. It's so big. It's not like if you go to like an NBA game and the fucking hallways are like fucking this narrow and shit. You have to bump into people to get through them. It's like spread across.
Yeah, I don't think I'm serious enough about being a fan. It's some real soccer fans out here. Like, they go crazy. So I don't want to be in those people's way. I'm like, oh, all right. Go home. Like, have you ever tried going to the Domain during a soccer game?
No.
Don't
but
ever do it.
So, not recently, but like I used to live on Metric before the stadium got there.
Yeah.
But they priced out everybody. Like literally, like my rent in the apartment I was staying was a 1-bedroom apartment. It was maybe like 500, 600 square feet in total. They jacked my shit up like almost not a double, but like half for my renewal that would fall in line with the stadium being open.
What?
I was like, yeah, literally. And I was literally in the apartments right across the street from Northridge ACC, literally right across the street.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about too. Wow.
I was like, yep, I gotta get the fuck out of here. It's a tough out. But I used to love living over there because the Domain was super close. Like, that's a fun time. Like, worst case scenario, leave your car in the garage if you're too lit and just lift right over to your home, which is a 5-minute or a $5 drive. Like, worst case scenario. So I was always at the Domain back in the day.
Yeah.
Not so much now. I don't think I've been in a Domain club in 6. No, that's a lie. Maybe 5 years or so. Maybe. I'll go to Velvet Taco though. I'll pull right. That's going to the club for me now.
I love Velvet Taco and Kung Fu. They have good wings.
I've never thought to eat food in there.
They have very good wings. And they have very good wings. And then like the Nashville hot chicken, they have some wings. It's really good. It surprised me, actually.
What made you think to go to Kung Fu and order food?
Off that liquor. Drunk.
Where'd you sit down and eat them? Were you just like
You sit down and eat them. You and your friends, everybody's at the bar eating wings, still drinking, but you trying to balance it all out because you've been at the Domain the last 4 hours. So it's tough.
I used to really like going to the Domain. It was a cool vibe back in the day, especially if you know somebody who lives in the Domain. It's even litter then because you pre-game at their place and then just walk to wherever. So that's a dope night for sure.
Yeah.
Can you believe we're already at 47 minutes?
Oh, that was cool. We didn't even really touch the topics we had in mind.
We never do. It never ever works out that way. Like I only give suggestions for like topics just in case like it gets awkward and we can just revert back to something.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's just a conversation. We can try to top talk on one thing before we end it all,
For sure.
or before my phone explodes. It's the eating out on your own thing. Because I think you had something to say about it, right? Because I think I was basically saying like whether you can or don't feel comfortable doing that, that doesn't make you better than a person who isn't comfortable doing that. I would never go to eat out on my own
Why?
because that wouldn't be fun for me.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't want to. Like I wouldn't be like I'm finna just go chill at this restaurant and eat. I can eat at home in the own comfort of my home and watch whatever I want on the TV. Like by myself. Like I would never want to go. That doesn't mean that I couldn't do it. It just means it wouldn't be fun for me. But you gave pushback. I don't know what you were saying because clearly you had something else to say.
It's normal.
Huh?
It's normal.
No,
And
it can't be normal.
I don't think it means that you're better. I don't. I think you just get comfortable with doing it. I'll say it like that. And I think what makes it easier is just you can go to the bar. I'm an introvert, but I attract people.
Same.
So
Does that mean I don't like talking to people? Is that what's the other one?
Yeah.
Extrovert.
Extrovert, yeah, that means that you're, more
Like
you
I
like to talk, engaged.
I hate talking to people.
Others.
I know it's weird me saying that, but like I literally would prefer to be by myself in a room and not speak to anybody.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
I told you you're an extrovert and introvert. Like,
I'm both.
you put them together. Like, you do, but you don't.
Like people.
Yeah.
Kwana was like, Calvin, do you like people? And I was like, let me get back to you on that one. Let me think about it.
Yeah, but
So
I
you
don't.
would go to a restaurant by yourself, just kick it?
Yeah, if I'm having one of those moods where I'm like, I need to just go out and have a good meal, I'll go to the bar and there's TVs. Normally there's people to talk to, or I'll listen to YouTube, catch up. But that just comes with people having different schedules. I mean, I wouldn't sit in a booth alone at a table. So I went to a restaurant on Riverside and I had to sit at a table and I had so much space, but the bar was like overcrowded. There was no seats. And I'm like, I want to sit down. Like, I'm hungry. So I dealt with that. It was okay, but the bar is much easier.
Yeah, because you just kind of sit down. You don't have to wait, be seated and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Is there anything else? Is there something positive we can end it on? Do you have anything positive? Ask the chair. I forgot about the chair. Chair, is there anything? No,
Yeah, chair.
I know you're on a press run.
Listen, this chair put in work.
Facts. Told you I saw a meme that said that was that chair's last day before retirement. He was trying to go out and get his pension.
Listen, it's the people sticking together for me. Seeing one of ours.
I'm just glad
distress.
nobody got hurt to the point of death. I'm so glad it ended how it ended. Because really, what if the dude jumped in the water, swam, and didn't make it? Like, what if that shit happened?
Yeah.
Or like, what if the person pushed in the water and didn't make it? Like, I'm just glad it ended, not civil, but it ended with no casualties.
But that's how
Other
I
than the
feel.
chair, he worked really hard that day.
I mean, I'm happy no one had like a major concussion to the point where they're coma and not here anymore, like in a coma and not here. But I think about the security guard. What if he would have been jumped to the point where he would have been messed up?
What if the boat didn't get there quick enough for the people to get off and handle business? Like, yeah, like just those kind of what if scenarios. Because like I'm sure that's happened before, and it ended up extremely negative, and we just don't know about it.
Yeah, several instances.
Especially in Alabama. Come on now.
For sure. I'm just happy, our people stuck together and did what's needed. I'm happy it's not like, it didn't cause a major like race war and people are just losing their minds, going crazy. That's all the negative stuff that we thought about hasn't happened, luckily, because we know how society can get with things.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's kind of positive. That's positive.
We're wrapping up the summer. It's been hot, but I
It is
feel
hot as
like
fuck. I'm looking outside right now, and it just looks hot. Like, oh my god! Like, I was walking up here earlier, and like the sun was like, or the heat was bypassing my body, and my legs were hot. I
yeah,
was like, what the fuck is going on?
it's bad.
It's hot
It's
as
not
hell.
normal.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I had said in the last pod that there was a specific day. I don't know what day it was, but they had said that it was the hottest day recorded in history across the world, not just here or a state or a country. Like across the world, it was the hottest day.
well, it is less trees too. I feel like it's very less shady with all the new modern day buildings with all the glass windows and
There probably could be something to that.
yeah, like
Like the heat
nature.
reflecting off of certain surfaces and things like that, and making it feel like a microwave.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. You can't even drink in this heat. Like nobody better ask me about Sunday Fun Day until
oh yeah.
October.
I'm a night drinker. I couldn't even do it anyways.
Yeah, this is it's not okay.
I'll
Like,
pass out.
crazy.
Oh man.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Cal. This was fun.
For sure. Like again, we didn't really talk about anything we were supposed to, but that's usually how it goes, and that's what makes a good podcast, I think. And at least in my opinion, right? There's some podcasters out there who beg to differ, but yeah, it's always just a conversation. Like again, that initial virtual video call is just how I gauge, and I like even though I feel like you're a little nervous
I
starting.
was.
And probably wasn't as open as you want to be. Like if you come back on, you're gonna see the progression. Like you'll see it like in real time. You'll be like, oh, I was on episode 94 and now I'm on episode 100 whatever, and you'll see the complete difference from the comfortability aspect. Because I understand like people coming in to do the pod or whatever, like you have no idea what to fucking expect. It's not like with the video chat. I walked around my apartment and was like, hey, this is where you'll sit. This is where I'll sit. This is what it's gonna look like, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I'm happy that you're on. Episode 94, man. Like, getting to 100 is getting annoying, man. I would rather just record all 6 from this point on in the same day. And just put them out week like a week on week basis. But I don't have enough storage for that. And that's impossible. So, was there anything else you wanted to talk about or anything you want to promote or plug, or if you got anything going on?
If you need a resume, please DM me. I am the owner and creator of Resume EDU. So whatever resume you need, I can revise it. I can create a cover letter for you. I can craft a brand new resume for you. And Cal, thank you once again for inviting me because yes, I was nervous, but I did my first public speaking event in front of like 80 high school students for orientation.
Yikes.
So this is helping me with my shyness.
For sure.
So.
You're welcome back on. If nothing else, this is the Can We Talk podcast, episode 94. Thank you guys for listening. You guys enjoy the rest of your night.